Hi. Well, gang, it's nice to see you. It's the Gaming Galleon. I'm Captain Raz, and we're going to be going on a little adventure today. I I think it's a little different than most of our adventures because, I like to keep it light. I mean, that's kind of who I am. I usually deal with things with a joke and a wink and a smile. Uh, but all right, it's Valentine's Day. Okay? It's Valentine's Day. And I like to do holiday shows. I do so many that I feel like I'm to the point where I should do almost everything out there. But I know I had a hard time coming up with this one. For one thing, it took me almost 2 weeks to come up with the game. And that's usually unheard of. I usually know right away what I'm going to do for a show. Or I'll have to ask a couple people. But I mean, we were really scratching our heads in this one. We finally came up with the right game, I think. But I wasn't really sure what to talk about off the top. I don't know why this story came to me, why I feel like it applies to Valentine's Day. I can't put like some sort of theatrical veneer around it and say that this all falls into place. It doesn't. Maybe this is the wrong story to tell you this week, but for whatever reason, because here's the thing: I had a monologue plan. I was just gonna I was gonna bring a whole bunch of games from the hold that were co-op, and just rifle off some good ones throughout, the hold, and that would have been enough, I think. But I woke up this morning and I thought about, for whatever reason, the story came into my head, and I thought I would share it. And once we do that, we'll go into our game that we're playing today, and we'll just kind of explain that along the way too. But anyway, this story takes place maybe about 10 years ago, early 2000s, 2002, 2003. There was a game that came out for the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 2 and PC called Final Fantasy 11. And that was an MMO, a massive multiplayer online role-playing game. Much like World of Warcraft. You make a guy, and you can play with all the people who make their own guys in this vast world. And for whatever reason, I was a college student. I didn't have any money. I had a PS2, and for some reason this game got ported to PS2. But it was all the hardware I had. 90% of the people played this game were on PC and Xbox 360. But I decided to buy the hard drive that you had to get for the PS2 and the game. And it was expensive. I mean, I'm pretty sure it clocked over $100 to play this game. And there was a subscription service. I mean, it makes you wonder how we let them get away with that back then. But I bought the game and I created a character, and I wanted to be a healer. I always play healers in these kind of games. And so I picked the class that would have like enough potential to be a really good magician and be someone who's a little short of stature. I played a Taru. I brought a picture. And it may seem weird for a grown man to be playing a guy like this. But that's kind of the characters I like to play. I like to be people who are kind of non-threatening, always willing to be a friend. And there's a lot of things you can do in these games, like pick a job. And I wanted to be a healer, so I became a white mage. And I also fished, more than anything. I fished. I think my character's name was Razzie. And my whole end game was figuring out how to be the best fisherman I could be, where to fish, how to get the best pole, start selling the fish I picked up so I could buy better fishing gear, level up this whole fishing side quest thing as much as possible. I'm always fascinated by role-playing games that you can have this whole separate adventure without ever going into the big bad world. I love the idea of staying in an urban environment and creating a whole job within, a whole game within. So as a result, not a lot of people, but people would start to stop because they'd always see this little taru fishing constantly. And one day, this human approached me, this human girl, and she asked what I was doing, and I just said fishing, and I like to play up the role, and if you're this little guy, you're going to be congenial, and I really played that up. And I think she took to that. And she had like really fancy clothing on, was a human. Humans don't stay around places for long. Most people in these games, they go off to adventure, and I don't think this girl was the exception in any way. But she sat down on the pier where I was fishing, and a human sitting down next to a little taru, even sitting down, she was at head length with me. And she kind of looked like this. Now, this is not her, but I pulled this picture from Final Fantasy XI. This seems to be a character that looks very similar. She has the same hairstyle. It's just something I picked up, pulled off the net. Again, not her. And how I was talking about how I was a white mage, I was a healer. She herself started as a white mage and was now at the exalted level of a summoner. And what a summoner is basically an adventurer who can summon almost godlike avatars to help her in combat and or help her friends in ways of making her stronger or protected. So, and summoners were big deals. It was not easy to become one, and people always wanted them in their party because they were kind of all-arounders. But for whatever reason, this summoner decided to sit down and hang out with this little fishing taru. And she could never really stay long because these people who played these games were very serious about it. And they would go out on adventures in teams, in guilds. I believe in Final Fantasy XI they're called link shells, but we'll just call them guilds. Groups of people who, like-minded, who go out and adventure. And she hung out with a bunch of elves. Now, this was a game that was global, okay? And there were countries like Japan, for instance, that took this game incredibly seriously, okay? Now, a lot of people in America, they play these games very often, but in Japan, it was like a career, okay? And I think she was, and a lot of Japanese, for whatever reason, they would play elves. And elves were like 9 feet tall and very thin, but still rugged in stature and intimidating. And I would see her hanging out with these elves. And there seemed to be like 5 or 6 of them, and then her. And she seemed to be the only human. It's been a long time, so I could be mistaken, but that's how it always appeared to me. And she would stop and talk to me and sit down and let me fish, and we would just talk. And I think that went on, on and off for about the better part of a year. We just talked, and I learned that she was from Germany. And God bless these other countries that learn English, I'm sure she knew German too, and I'm not sure what part of Germany she was from. But she spoke well enough. And I seem to remember her every so often talking about how she wasn't feeling well or she was sick. And she really enjoyed just hanging out and that I would make her laugh. She always seemed to laugh. And I remember one day she came to me and I think she asked for my email or something, which was really weird. I'm not used to that. But she said she had made a couple of pictures that involved me or wanted me to see them. And I said, okay. So she sent them to me, and one of them was like a picture of her and her elf friends. And another one was a picture of her laughing and pointing at this monster with a bucket on its head. And this is a race of monsters that tend to be the natural born enemies of what I was, which was a Tarotaro. Again, one of these little guys. So I guess it was just like kind of a jokey picture. Here's your enemy with a bucket on its head, and I'm laughing at him. But you know, I didn't think much of it. It seemed almost like these were stock photographs. I don't know when I left Final Fantasy XI. I don't know what the circumstances were. Maybe I graduated college. I don't know when I stopped. But I do remember sometime down the line, and this was in the MySpace days. That gives you an idea. I remember getting a text long after I'd stopped playing from Kat. And Kat was a girl that I knew who ran the guild that I was in. And we were just, you know, some crazy kids having fun. And, you know, she and I texted back and forth whatnot in real life for quite some time. But I hadn't heard from her for a while, and one day I got this text. And it said, Razzie? And I said, yeah, hi, Kat. And she said, hey, it's Cassie. And I can't believe I haven't said her name till now. But that was this summoner's name, Cassandra. Cassie. And I said, what's wrong? And she says, Razzie, Cassie passed away. It turns out that her guild master got a hold of me because he knew that you and Cassie spent a lot of time together. And he just thought that you would want to know. Maybe it wasn't even that. Maybe they were still just talking, and he told Kat, and Kat felt I should know. That's possible, too. But in any event, here I was very far away, removed from this game, and it all came rushing back. You know, it's not like Cassie and I ever dated or anything like that. But she was special to me. You know, much more special than anyone you usually, you know, meet when you're playing a video game. You know, silly fighting game or even NPCs, you know. This is a real person. Now, I may not have known her beyond me and her talking about Final Fantasy, but we logged some time together, and now she was gone. And Kat had one more thing to give me. She said, by the way, she left a picture. I've got it, and I'm going to send it to your MySpace. And I'd never seen Cassie before. You know, despite how much time we spent talking, I'd never actually seen her. So obviously I went on my MySpace and I looked at her picture, and I still have it today. I took that and a few pictures she gave me and just cut them up with some music on a video that I have unlisted just for my own private. I've had it for years, and it's, you know, sometimes I'll forget about the whole engagement entirely, and then I'll see that video and I'll watch it again. And it just goes to show you how easy it is for humanity to connect to one another without having to be arm in arm. So Again, I'm not sure why I'm saying this today. I don't know why today of all days it popped in my head. Um, I guess I'm just trying to illustrate that video games can be more powerful than you think. I don't know. Anyway, let's get to the game. We're way over already. The booty segment's pretty meek, but that's okay because the game is not. This is called Ico for the PlayStation 2, and while it took me quite a long time to come up with this game, once I figured it out, I couldn't think of one better. So without further ado, I give you Ico for the PlayStation 2. Okay. Little backstory here. Very little. This kid with the horns has been left in this ruin by the old villagers. He's been dropped off here. The only thing they said to him was, don't judge the village. This is for the good of all of us. It's for the good of the village. And they put him in a tomb. The room looked a lot like in the Matrix, where all those hive humans are all hooked up to the Matrix. But there was a tremor, and this kid we're looking at here falls out of the tomb and it shatters. He finds his way out of the room, jumps through a window into the room here. And when the tremor hits, he hits his head and passes out for a second and has a vision of a cage hooked to the top of a tower and some sort of figure inside. And once I entered this tower, I looked up and I can see all the way at the top, hanging in the ceiling, is the very cage that he dreamt about. Now, I don't know what's up there. I kind of do. But I haven't played this in 10 years or so. And when I was preparing for this game, I felt like... Oh, hold on a second. Let me get my headphones on. Because I want to hear this. I really felt like I should go in blind. You know, this isn't Street Fighter 2, okay? This is an adventure. And when we do a voyage like this is always a gamble. Because I don't always want to know what's going to happen to us next. That's why this is an adventure. If I scripted everything, if I planned everything, if I choreographed it all, would we really be doing this together? I don't think so. So, once I saw that cage, I felt like this is something that we need to discover together. I think we're almost there already. There it is. Let's see if we can make our way up there. This is the first PS2 game that I played. I believe I rented it first time I got the system. This is a really old game. This is... hold on. This is one of those games that has a blue what's it called? It's a blue disc. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay. Oops. Oh my god, sorry. Okay. Looks like that's barred. Oh. There it is. That one looks open. Let's try here. That did it. Ah. Now you may be wondering why this is such a Valentine's Day game. In my opinion, it is. And I think very shortly you're going to realize why. Once we get back down to the captive. If you feel like I'm not describing enough about this game, backstory, you know, what have you, that's because there really isn't. This is definitely one of those games that just throws you in. There's no tutorial. There's no, you know, mom figure who takes you through the day. You're dropped here alone. And, you know, the only thing accompanying you is the blowing wind. How's she doing down there? Almost there. All right. Maybe there's a way we can jump on there. There we go, another ladder. Let's see if we can get her out of the cage. And if we can, we'll take a little break. Open up the chest. Check out some booty. Woo! When I saw that stick drop, it'd be trouble. We'll get him, bro. Hey! grab her? I got her. Whew. Is there a way out? Alright. Oh, jeez. Get off her! Take my hand. Alright, we're gonna have to leave it here. At least for now. I don't see any reason why we'd go up the tower. Let's leave it here for now. Okay. Oh. Yeah, thanks. Okay. So yeah, Aiko. Is it puzzling? Sure. Are you puzzled? Probably. But are you intrigued? I'm gonna say most definitely. More on that later. Okay, so again, we are in the deepest, darkest portions of the winter. We're sorry, I just feel like I forgot something. I don't think so. We are also in tax season. People got money. It's not good. Isn't that terrible? I'm a pirate. Give me a break, okay? Anyway, also in in the spirit of Valentine's Day, it's not all that, but you know, Valentine's Day, what do you do with your money? If you have a sweetheart, you usually spend it on something you don't really need, and you probably don't get a deal on it. So, that's kind of what this is. This is something we didn't need and didn't really get that good of a deal on. Okay, so don't be expecting your socks to be blown off with this lot. Half-price books. I'll just put it that way, okay? Half-price books. For those of you who don't know what Half-Price Books is, it is a bookstore that also sells software. And it is a place where you can sell all of your video games and books and movies and whatnot, DVDs. The problem with Half-Price Books is they price via Amazon. So you're never really getting a deal. Sometimes things fall through the cracks, but not really. This Half-Price Books is usually on its game. So the only way you're really going to find a deal there is if you get lucky, because sometimes they have such a surplus or stuff has been there for so long for Amazon prices that one day a checker will come in and price everything at half price of Amazon. And if that happens, you may find some good deals. Wow, when did we start? I think we're 35 minutes in. I have no idea. Okay, so let's take a look at what we have from Half Price. This is about 3-4 deals we have here. All from different walks. And all not that great a deal. But to start, we have a really cool NES game. One I've been on the hunt for a while. Ice Climber. Ice Climber is usually around a $15, $20 game. And as you can see, or not, of course not, I'm sorry. I'm not even going to bother to do the focus thing. It's $7.50. So when I saw $7.50, I was like, on Ice Climber, all day. All day. It's also for you collectors out there. It's a 5 screw ice climber. So that was pretty sweet for $7.50. It's a great game. It's also 2-player too. Pretty fun stuff. They also had this sitting there. And again, somebody marked it down from half what they had. They had this at 20 originally. It'd been there for a while. It wasn't until I saw it for 10 that I was like, okay, I can justify this. So the Street Fighter collection for the PlayStation, original PlayStation, which is a nice shape. Sans the manual, unfortunately. But the discs, both discs are there. And they're in really nice condition. What is the Street Fighter collection? You may add... This is a really nice... Bismuth saw this box art earlier. That's a really nice picture. You got the new challengers there. And then Ryu in the bottom. You see him there? What's Ryu's problem in this picture? Anyway. What's in the collection? It's actually kind of lame. There's only... it's Street Fighter collection. You'd think there'd be so much here. There's only 3 games here. One of them is Super Street Fighter 2. The second one is Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. And then the third one is Street Fighter Alpha Gold. Alpha 2 Gold. Don't ask me what the gold is. They claim to say this is the first time gold has ever been brought to America. Whatever. It's Alpha 2. But the fact that, you know, by this time there was at least a dozen Street Fighter 2 games out there. And they chose to put Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo and Super Street Fighter 2. Like, they may as well be the same game. I felt that was... I mean, man, if they put Street Fighter 3 on here or something, that would have been great. Because it was out by then. But anyway, regardless, these are 2 excellent fighting games and a beautiful set here. For $10, you're looking at, you know, $5 a game. $3.33 if you really want to be technical, but I'm not going to separate Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo and Super Street Fighter 2. I think that's dumb. So $5 a Street Fighter. I couldn't say no. So yeah, I was pretty happy with this. Maybe we'll find the manual one day. Also, they had a copy of Borderlands 2. I've been looking for Borderlands 2 for the right price because I actually have the second disc that has all of the DLC content, but I didn't have the actual game. And they had this for $3. So I was like, well, 3's really not that good of a deal, but I usually only see this for 5 and under, or 5 or above. So I think I'm going to go for it. But really what sealed the deal wasn't that it was $3, but it was $3 sealed. This is a brand new game. So I went for it. Now at least I've got my Game of the Year, or we've got Game of the Year Borderlands 2 going. So that's pretty cool. Great game, by the way, if you haven't played it. If you don't know what Borderlands 2 is, it's basically a first-person shooter crossed with an action RPG. So you're constantly picking up new weapons and blowing people away with them. A lot of fun, great multiplayer, excellent game. And then finally at Half Price Books, they had an old friend. Jake the dog. We've played this game on the Galleon before. We've gone out to old Clarksville and had a good old time with our good friend Jake a long time ago. The reason I bought this for $3.50 was the game itself usually goes for around $7, just the disc. And the copy we have in the hold is just the disc with like a Xerox copy. This is a beautiful in shape, you know, complete copy for $3.50. If I really feel guilty about buying 2 games, I'll get rid of the older one or the other disc. But this game's so near and dear to my heart that I think I'm okay with spending $3.50 on one more copy, especially when that's in as good a condition as this. So there you go, Half Price Books. I mean, what are we looking at? $3.50, $6, $16. 7, 16, $23, $23.50. So yeah, not that great, right? I walked into an indoor flea market This place is great. It's filthy. And there's one guy who sells games, and depending on the game, you can find a good deal. Depending on the hardware, I think I found a Sega Nomad from this guy for $15 once. That was like mind-blowing. But, you know, you got to talk the guy down sometimes. Not really. He's a nice guy. But he had an SNES game that looked really weird. The label's all screwy. You see that? But I could already tell what it was just at a glance. So I asked him what he wanted for this. And he said, $8. $8 is high. Well, it's not high for Super Nintendo, but it's not... On a lark, I don't like spending $8. But in this case, I was gonna. It's Booger Man. Booger Man for the SNES. For whatever reason, I'm gonna put the autofocus on. Hold on. Sorry, just a second. There we go. Alright, that wasn't so bad, was it? Yeah, Booger Man is pretty self-explanatory. I'm going in too close. Who cares? Booger Man is a guy in a Superman kind of suit who flicks boogers and farts. And this is worth a lot more than $8. So that's about a fifth of what it's worth. So can you believe that? It's a solid game if that means anything. I mean, it's as solid as you know, flicking boogers and farting on monsters can be. All right. I don't even remember where I got Mappy. Yeah, I think I just picked this up the same day as Half Price Books. It was $7. This is an incredibly common game. If I told my 2010 self that I spent $7 on Mappyland, I would slap myself. But that's the times we're living in now. Everybody wants everything. I'm serious. It's not good out there. I mean, I really hope, because I've noticed that it's really ramped up in the past couple months. And what I'm thinking is, maybe the reason there's so many sharks out there right now, I'm hoping, is because we're out of garage sale season. Because these jackasses like to go to garage sales. And you know what? This jackass doesn't. I'm fine and fit to go to stores. I can find enough deals, and I think that that's what's happening. I think these guys are muscling in because they have no one to haggle at 8 a.m. on a Saturday. Hopefully, when spring rolls around, they'll go. I know some of them, that's the plan, and I couldn't be happier about it. We'll see. $7 on Mappy. Great game. I would have liked to have at least done 5. Drakengard was a good deal, kind of. It's a beat-up game. This is from another retro video game store. They wanted $4 for it. That's a pretty good deal on this. It's an RPG. Kind of got some Dynasty Warrior gameplay to it. You know, professionally cleaned. So you gotta be happy with that. $4. This is worth a lot more than that. So that was a pretty good deal. And then one more thing. No. 2 more things. This is a game I wanted for a long, long time. And the weird thing about Amazon is sometimes you'll get some Yahoo who just needs to get rid of stuff. I don't know why. I don't know if they're just trying to make sales to up their percentage or something. Their sales percentage. I have no idea. Like positive rating or whatever. But sometimes you'll find a good deal on Amazon that's not just a retail deal. And that's what happened. I happened to be looking at this game, which I've been looking for a while. Could it look weirder? It's called Concept. It's a game I've never seen in person until we got it here. Never ever. But when I heard about the idea of it, it's basically Magic meets Monopoly. So what's that mean? Imagine if you're playing Monopoly and you buy Park Place, and instead of just locking the doors and leaving, you put a monster in, the apartment complex, and nobody can stay there unless they can defeat the monster. And if they can't, then they got to pay you. Okay, does that make sense? That's as far into it as I'm going to go. Trust me, it's a fun game for a dork like me, and maybe a couple other dorks I know. It is not hard to find. It's not easy to find. It's not incredibly expensive, but I've never seen it for under $15. And for whatever reason, I look on Amazon. I'm just scrolling down games, and this is for sale for $1 with shipping. What's that come out to? $5? And I'm like, you know what? You can't on Amazon. You can't see your merchandise, so I was fine for $1. I'm like, whatever. I'll take just the disc. I assumed. I have it. Don't worry. It's at home. I was playing it. But anyway, I assumed it would just be the disc. If they're asking so little. But no, it's in beautiful shape, great shape, like it's never been played shape. And you got the manual, so that's pretty awesome. So what's that? That was $1. Shipping, about $5. And then I was at a pawn shop and I saw a really weird game. I think a lot of people would be interested in it, especially if you're a millennial. It's called Strong Bad's Cool Game for Attractive People. And you gotta love the box art. You know, if you don't know who Strong Bad is, you're probably too old. And that would mean you're probably old enough to recognize Atari. This is totally an Atari homage to Atari boxes. And the other interesting thing here is, can you see who made it there? Not Vittletrix, but Telltale Games. Telltale Games made this years and years before they ever made the Walking Dead game, and what's the other one that escapes me? Game of Thrones game? I thought there was another bigger one. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But Telltale Games makes adventure games. They're really big these days. And this was made years and years. When was this made? Before they really hit it big as a household name. I don't know. Whatever. Okay, so that's it. Yeah, this is $1. And we tried it. You never know. But we popped it in to one of the computers over at YNL. And it installed. So it's not like a code. It's not a dead game. I was really happy to find that out. So this looks like fun. So yeah, $1 on Strong Bad. I'm not even going to go back through these. Does it matter? None of them were deals, as you can see. I mean, I don't know. Am I being hard on myself? I don't think so. We've had awesome deals here, and I don't want to oversell it. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So let's get back to Ico. I can't imagine how far over we are, but let's at least try and find our way out of this room with our chick. It's Ico for the PlayStation 2. Okay. Oh. Get your crap together, Raz. Okay. Alright. Well, you wait there. So this is an adventure game, and you know this. What were we talking about before? About a gamble? How the hell are we gonna do this? You know, am I gonna get stuck? Well, here you go. But this is what this game is about for the most part. It's about discovery and exploration. And you know, the chick's gonna be down there, wherever she is. For now. We need to find a way out, and it seems like these... Oh, maybe we can pull them out. Let's try and grab one. Alright, hold on. I'm calling her over here. She doesn't seem that interested. Huh. I don't know, maybe we gotta go up the stairs. Alright, let's go up. Why? I'm sorry, my phone is blowing up. I need to turn it off. Okay. It's alright. I'm gonna go up here. And I should better at least tell you about what this game's actually like, because we may not get to see any of it. But really, it could not be simpler. It's you trying to get out of this dungeon. I couldn't possibly have to go back up the tower, could I? There's got to be a way out of this room. And you have to work together. You have to work with this girl who you've rescued. Maybe that's my problem. I'm not working with her. What are you doing? Ha! Up we go. Come on, sweetheart. This is how we'll save. We're not gonna save though. I mean, I almost think we gotta stop it there. I can't believe it. I don't remember when we started at all. Jeez, I'm sorry. I'm gonna play it out a little more. Hey. Come here. Come on, lady. There we go. There we go. Whoa. Thought we were holding hands. Come on, you're on, sweetheart. I'm gonna leave you here. Uh-oh. We got action. Anybody else? Leave her alone. Whew. Oh, okay, let's grab the barrel. I guess not. Alright, well let's try and see if we can just go through. Can we both get through? Don't cut her arm off! Wow. There's a couch over there. So as you can see, you know, this game is very enthralling. You know, you get so wrapped into what's happening. You don't have to. You don't worry about the story or anything like that. You just worry about these two. There is no real story. I mean, not yet. It's all a mystery. And I assume I have to... Okay, well here's a box. What do we do with that? Ah. Alright, let's see what's at the top of the tower and then we'll wrap it up. Come here. I mean, this has got to be one of the most difficult games for me to put down. I've totally lost track of time too. We could be way over, and I wouldn't really know it. So I apologize for that. But I mean, talk about it weird. I mean, look at this. You got a kid with horns and a stick, and a girl. And just a big castle to explore. Doesn't it just make your mind race? I mean, don't you want to learn every inch of this place? Why are they here? It makes my mind go wild. Alright, well this is one of another 10 million different shortcuts. I'm sorry. Dead ends. So let's just leave it here. Let's wrap it up. I love the crackling of the flame, huh? Yeah. Aiko. Is it Valentine's? Is it romantic? I feel like this is a romantic game. Where's the box? I feel like it's a very romantic game. Because, you know, they can't do it without one another. And I think that's what Valentine's is all about, right? It's pretty hard to have a Valentine's Day without somebody else special. Okay, let's see if I got any Valentines in the old mailbag, huh? Alright. Alright, well. There's always next year, right? If you got a Valentine you'd like to send me, it's gaminggalleon@gmail.com. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for playing Ico. I do hope you have a nice Valentine's Day. I really do. If you don't have someone to share it with, you know, make it a day of indulgence. I heard DQ made some sort of interesting singles Sunday. Talk about leaving it on a deep note, huh? Anyway, we'll see you next time. Take care, stay safe, keep your head about you. And until we meet again, farewell and adieu to ye Spanish ladies. Farewell and adieu, ye ladies of Spain. For we received orders for to sail back to I go, and we may never see ye fair ladies again. Why is it called the Queen's Castle? Because the Queen's always in charge. Keep your powder dry, mateys.